What's up, guys? It's Alex here, and we've also got Matt. Welcome to what episode is this?
This is episode 6 of That's Kind of Cringe, Bro.
Yeah, episode 6 of That's Kind of Cringe, Bro. The song you just heard was Twister, which is the Union X mix, originally from The World Ends With You. It's a personal favorite. And we've got quite a bit on the table today. To start off, I don't think we have any Rockbusters.
We have new ones, we do. No answers, yeah.
No answers, no comments, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, we missed last week, though, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a little bit of... Yes, I tried to make it, try to make up.
A lot's been going on for everyone.
Yeah.
Matt was busy. We'll just say I was busy.
I can't really do a one-man show with it, so we had to wait.
Yeah. So that's cool. To start us off, Rockbusters. Matt, you want to take a go at it?
Will do. Last week we had 2 easy questions and a medium one. Cryptic clues, that is. So the answers for last week were... The first one. So first off, the cryptic clue was how to move the herbs to get to the cinnamon. That was time shift. The second one was went hiking in the mountains while I was in Japan the other week. A guy in a garb walked me through the path. Those initials were NJ. The answer was Ninja. Sorry, the initials were NG. The answer was Ninja Gaiden. The third one was, it's been a while since I've gambled there. Now I have a reason to go. Those initials were NV. The answer was New Vegas. And for this week, remember you can submit the answers at that'skindofcringebro@gmail.com. Don't do YouTube comments. Just email them. This week, we are still giving away the Spider-Man code. Is this the last week, Alex?
Yep.
Yeah, because otherwise you're doing the Twitch thing, yeah. I'll probably throw some booster packs next week, because I have a bunch of them still. I don't know if I'm going to sell them or not. But for this week, we have 3 clues. First one is, I was in for sacrament the other day, and the blokes all lined up to sing. The initials for that are SR. Second one, if you're taking a carrier out to sea, don't forget one of these. Initial B. Third one, I got a case coming up, so I'd met with my defense attorney. Thing is, the coffee I made for him was too hot, so he would have to cool it down before drinking. Initial D. The third one's gonna really throw guys for the loop. Remember, just the first 2 are easy, so to answer those, you'll get it. If nobody else answers, you'll get it.
Yep, it's pretty empty pool, so first come, first serve. Alright, and the first topic after that, moving on, it seems to be roots of phrases.
Yep, it's a brand new feature where we talk about the origins behind meaning. The origins behind phrases. Yeah, for example, like what's one, Alex? What's a phrase?
What's a phrase?
Cat got your tongue. There we go. Cat got your tongue. We would do one for that. Not that I know what it means. Not that I know what it's from, but yeah.
You egg.
We should do that. That's very interesting. Cat got your tongue.
That's a good one. Maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Alright, but today it seems we were discussing Marco Pollo. It's a shirt, is it not?
It's a shirt. Yeah, got him. Yeah, no, it's it's that. See, I thought it was a mainly American swimming pool game, but I guess it's even a global phenomenon. As we go into the origins of it, it actually makes sense that the fact that it is. So, Alex, you've heard of it, right? Marco Pollo.
Marco Pollo. It's a common. It's people play in the pool. When I was a kid, we had a forest in our backyard, so we'd just run into the trees and play it too. Kind of like a version of tag with that.
Yeah. So there are actually. So I was the reason why I thought about this is because I went hiking last week and we used Marco Pollo to actually communicate because it's a mountain, like it actually reverberates pretty well actually. But the origins of it, it's a little bit the consensus is a little bit fractured because there are 3 theories as to how this originated. So we're gonna kind of decide which one it is. So there are
I think it's theory 2.
Yeah. Actually, I would. That kind of makes a little bit historical sense. But so the first 2, which are the main popular ones, are the first one is it said that on several occasions during his long voyage, Marco Polo was clueless as to where he was going, just like a blind man. So he would say Marco Polo, just say his own name basically. The second one is, I'm going to read this out. While in China, Marco Polo was traveling with his family in the Talclamacan Desert, an infamous place whose name means the desert from which no one returns. It's said that Polo dozed off, and his horse separated from the rest of the caravan. On waking up, he thought he could hear voices calling out his first name, and he responded with Polo, though he couldn't see anyone. While he was eventually found by the group, Polo later realized that he'd been hallucinating. Third one is, this is the less popular one, because I only saw one source talking about this.
Alright.
Which is, Marco's journey from China to the Gulf of Persia was long and dangerous. The entourage of ships encountered a severe storm, of which only 18 of 600 passengers survived, including the princess and the Polos. Since visibility in the storm was low, the survivors tried calling their leader with his first name, and he responded with his last. So, Alex, which one of these do you believe most?
I think it's a story, kind of like something that people, just something someone made up, and it sounds nice because it sounds real. I think all of those could be true because they were all told at the same time in different places.
Fair enough, yeah. But the guy's real, so...
The guy's real?
One of these... Yeah, the guy's real. Marco Polo's a real guy, yeah.
You should have started with that.
Yeah, sorry about that, yeah.
Probably the desert one.
Yeah. See, the only thing I don't know is how he would be hallucinating in the desert.
He probably thought he was hearing his first name, so it was just him yelling his last name in the desert. No one was talking back to him. I think that's what they were implying.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it's just, I guess, hallucinating by heat haze. I don't know.
Heat, sometimes, depending on the desert, at night it gets so cold so fast. The cold snap can actually send you into a hallucinogenic state where it's more or less just your body can't handle the change in temperature so fast.
You know what, that would make sense, because it's nighttime, and that's an additional reason to do that. So, yeah, that's that's probably the best reason, yeah. So, I would agree with that. Second one's the best.
Yeah, because the boat one just kind of didn't, I didn't really understand even what you're trying to get at, to be honest.
Which one?
He's on a boat and he's blind and screaming Marco Polo. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, yeah. All right.
And the last one, which was another Chinese one, it sounds like someone misconstrued the first one. Or the second one, sorry. The second one just sounds the most realistic of the three.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the third one has more historical context, I would say. But, I guess but I agree with you. The second one's the best, yeah.
Well, the third one is he's traveling, right?
Yeah, in a storm.
What year was this? What year is Marco Polo?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because, I mean, if it's 1700s or before, I don't think China was very...
All I know is that, the king guy didn't want Marco to leave.
Yeah, they don't really enjoy tourists. So, there was a time when everything was like that, so it just doesn't sit well in my mind.
Fair enough.
So what's up next, Matt?
Alright, we got, probably your favorite part of the episode. That's kind of cringe, bro. We're talking about PlayStation Plus.
There's a story here, and I don't think anyone likes it. Okay, so to start off, PlayStation Plus, for those of you who don't know, is Nintendo's online service. You need it to play games online. You get rewarded. I'm going to put giant air quotes because you're basically paying for the games and to play online. But they advertise it as, here's your free PlayStation Plus games. They're not free. You're paying for them. And then the games themselves is another issue. A couple months ago, I don't have a direct timeline. I didn't write this down, unfortunately, but they rose the price from what it was to 80 Canadian, or I believe it's 60 American.
Yeah, switch to 60, yeah.
For 1 whole year. And then they rose the price of the other two. I never buy 1 month or 3 month or anything like that. I always buy it by the year. The year is just the cheapest option. So I don't really know what those two are. But they rose the price nonetheless. They said that they were giving away so many games that it didn't make sense to keep it at that price because they ran out of cheap games to give away. So with the price increase, they were going to increase the quality of games, which was a fucking lie. For a few months, we got some decent games, more decent than usual. I have a list of some of the games, because, like, more specifically, we're going to look back at the last few months. So in December, they announced that, or I think it was November, December last year, they announced they're going to be stopping PS Vita and PS3 games on PS Plus, because it's normally 2 per platform for a total of 6 games, $80 a year. That's not terrible. I'm not going to lie. That's a decent deal if you can play all the games. But even if you can't, this is where the real good part comes in. As an example, if they gave away a game that was on every platform, PS3, PS4, and Vita, which does happen sometimes, it's normally just little indie games though, they would give you every version, not just the one for, let's say it was a Vita game that month, they wouldn't only give you the Vita game. So, if you were a PS Plus member, over the years, you were collecting a lot of games for PS4 from just 1 month. There were months where you could get 4 or 5, maybe even 6 games, which was really good. It was fun. It meant that it didn't really matter the platform you were on, you always had an opportunity to earn a lot of games. When they ended up taking those 4 games away, being PS3 and PS Vita, that left us with only 2 games. And that's the 2 PS4 titles. Now, the PS4 titles have been iffy here and there. A couple notable ones, I believe they gave away Yakuza Kiwami, Bloodborne. Those are some of, like, the better ones, but even then, those are both $20, $25 PlayStation Classic games. So you're not really getting a lot of your money's worth. They give away a metric crap ton of indie games. Like, indie games are the go-to for them. And the past 3 months have been kind of a letdown, including May. So March, April, May. We don't... at this very current moment in time, May's games aren't 100% solidified. However, they have been announced for Asia and Japan, and the one game and similar between those two is most likely the game we're getting here too, as well as Europe. And if that's the case, it's really worrying. They asked players a while ago, well, since we got rid of the 4 games, what do you guys want as compensation for the increased $20, price point on PlayStation Plus per year? And a lot of people said better quality games, or even just lower it back by $20 because there's no reason to do it anymore. You originally raised it because there were 6 games. Now there's only 2. Why are you doing this? And their response to this was literally something no one asked for. You originally had, I believe it was 10 gigabytes of online storage for your saves. Now you have 100. Who the fuck is going to use 100? Like, there are so many people out there that said they didn't even go near the 10 gig mark. And they had libraries of over 600 games.
Yeah, you would basically have to play, like, 100 copies of Dragon's Quest. Dragon Quest Builders, yeah.
It's ridiculous how much you need to fill up 100 gigs. No one's using it. There's probably only very few people, and it's because they actively play a lot of PlayStation games, because they play for trophies. Maybe they're a streamer and they always have to delete games. But even then, those people don't need the extra saves, because once they're done with the game, they're not going to go back to it. There's no point in keeping the save. It was the most redundant thing to give us. But with the increase of storage came the promise of better titles. I believe January and February started off strong. I'm going to just type this up real quick.
Yeah, whatever was last month for our PS3 games, it was actually Metal Gear Solid 4, so I'd say props for them for that.
There was no PS3 games last month.
Oh, I just mean whenever was the last month. December, maybe?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was pretty good to do Metal Gear Solid 4, just simply because it was a bigger game, like 20, 25 gigabytes, yeah. And, so has it been playing on PS3
yeah,
yet?
Okay, so... it looks as if... Yeah, January was pretty good, from the looks of it. So yeah, we got Steep and Portal Knights. And January appears to be the last month we got PS3 games. Or February, sorry. Yeah, February was, because March was the first month they promised better games, and we got let down heavily. January was strong, though. January was Steep, Portal Knights on PS4, Zone of the Enders HD and Amplitude PS3, Super Mutant Alien Assault, and Fallen Legion Flames of Rebellion on Vita. All of those are worthy titles. I think the only ones I don't recognize are Amplitude PS3 and Super Mutant Alien on PS Vita. Fallen Legion, Zone of the Enders, and Portal Knights are all well-known games, Zone of the Enders being a HD re-release of a PS2 series, so I would consider that closer to an indie game than a full game. Normally, the re-releases of those types of games, the JRPGs, are priced closer to the price point of a higher tier indie game. Fallen Legion was a RPG on Vita. It received fairly well criticism. However, it was on the Vita, so that kind of explains why not a lot of people know about it. Steep is probably the one that shines most here. It's a very good snowboarding game. It's just generally fun, even if you're not into the sports genres. I very much dislike sports, but Steep has been one that I do enjoy, as well as the only other one I can name is Skate 3 on the PS3. And I get vibes of Skate from Steep, so throwing that out there. February was also amazing. February was actually ridiculously good. On PS4, you had For Honor and Hitman, the first one, the complete first season. Hitman first season, I believe, had quite a few bugs. A lot of people were iffy on it, but the reason why it's so good is if you download the demo for Hitman 2 and you install Hitman the complete first season, you can play the entirety of the first game in 2's engine, which removes every single buggy aspect that a lot of people had problems with. And I don't know about you, but basically getting an enhanced version of Hitman 1 for however much you want to consider this, that was amazing. And even if you want to just ignore the bugs, or if you're a fan of buggy games because they just do comedic things, you've still got an amazing game there. For Honor is an amazing competitive game as well. I know not everyone likes it, but it does have its fan base. And I can't deny how good it looked or how well it played, even if it's not my specific style of game I'll put time into. I did enjoy it. PS3 was, as Matthew said, Metal Gear Solid 4, which was good, and Dive Kick, which is a cross-buy with Vita. I think it's an indie game. So for Dive Kick, you got it PS3 and Vita. The Vita games. Now, you got 4 PS4 games because the 2 Vita games were cross-play with PS4, meaning that you got Rogue Aces and Gun House on PS4. So that means the last month for PS3 and Vita games, they gave us 4 PS4 games. We'll never see that again. And I know that it's Rogue Aces and Gun House, I believe, are just both low-title indie games. Not a lot of people know about them. It's still the fact that they were giving us so many options. Like, I can't really recall how many times I've just downloaded those random indie games they keep throwing at you. Like 2 or 3 at a time, and I'll put maybe an hour or 2 into each of them. And they're fun. You enjoy them for a little bit. I feel like that's the point of those low-tier indie games. You don't really sit down with the intention of playing them. You just kind of skim over them. You're like, wow, cool, I guess I'll try it. And you're either pleasantly surprised or you just delete it and move on. You don't regret buying it because you really didn't have a choice. Now, they promised in March that the games would be better. And everyone assumed that would be a AAA title. They've given AAA titles in the past, so it's not like they can't. What they gave us was a remaster, which they claimed to be a AAA title, which is not, and an indie game, which the indie game is probably closer to a AAA title than the remaster, which they claimed was their AAA title. They gave us Modern Warfare Remastered and The Witness. Modern Warfare Remastered sells for less than $20 physical. It is a very cheap game, and it's got a lot of cut content that's not in the original, which you could probably pick up the original for like, a couple bucks.
$4, yeah.
Not even at this point. It's
$3.
It's a Call of Duty game on the last gen. You pick it up, you pop it in your, PS3 or your Xbox One, and you have fun for a lot cheaper than $80 a year. The Witness, however, I was surprised, and I was personally happy because I've been meaning to play this game for a while. It's a puzzle game, it's an indie game, but from the general standpoint of the average player, this month was shit. You got, it sounds harsh to say, but you got an outdated Call of Duty game, which was missing content from the original, that if you really did want to play it again, you'd get more content playing the original for cheaper. And then you got an indie game that not everyone likes puzzle games. I know that. It's generally more of a niche market, specifically for the ones that are puzzle only. Because people that like puzzle games might like puzzle adventure games like Legend of Zelda. This was straight puzzles. There's no combat. You just walk in, you do a puzzle room, you walk to the next one. Straightforward. that really set a bad precedent for me as to what we're supposed to expect for the year. If those are our enhanced, AAA title game and better indie game. The indie game was up to the standard that I was expecting for paying so much. The AAA was not. It was far from it. Like, I don't know if you see what I'm seeing, Matt.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not, but you can
like,
go ahead and...
what do you, like, how do you feel about March?
Terrible, yeah. 'Cause,
It's horrendous. It's almost inexcusable. If they had put Modern Warfare Remastered as the indie game, I wouldn't have mind. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm totally fine with that. That's, like, it may not be an indie game, but it's nowhere near AAA anymore. It's past its prime. And then you come to April, which is where things get really kind of iffy. A lot of people had mixed feelings about April because they didn't give us an indie game. We actually got two X AAA titles, because they were when they came out. They were AAA when they came out, but they're past their prime. Which were The Surge and Conan Exiles. They're grind fests, and I believe The Surge doesn't even work properly half the time, or Conan to be exact. Like, they're both mediocre.
They're pretty alright. Yeah.
They're enjoyable, and I guess it's almost to what I would like to see from PS Plus, because it's still a lot of money a year. I can't justify spending that much per year. If by the end of this year there's nothing better, I don't know if I'll renew. Like, I'd probably just rather sell my PlayStation, buy an Xbox One, and get their games gold. It sounds better. Like, and that's I'm not really big on Xbox.
Yeah, well, you should do what we want to skip this month, because that's pretty bad too, Xbox side.
Yeah, but the thing for May, and as I said, this is Asian Japan, which kind of sucks, because one of the games we're definitely getting, the other one I don't know. We'll start off with the indie games. In Japan, they're getting Darksiders Remastered, which I am 100% for that as an indie game. That's an amazing indie title. Darksiders itself apparently is a great game. A lot of people like it. A lot of people I know personally really like it. So I'm sure a lot of people would be ecstatic to have that if we get it. I don't know if we will, because I think we got it before. Don't quote me on that. And in Asia, they're getting The Witness. So they didn't get The Witness originally when it came out for us back in, March. So those are the indie games for the two, which are good indie games. I do not fault them on that. The AAA title makes me want to rip my fucking flesh out. We're getting Metal Gear Survive, which is the most horrendous excuse of a AAA game in history. It sold next to nothing. It nearly killed the Metal Gear franchise on release day. And the game itself is a buggy mess that is so overflowing with microtransactions, it's almost not even playable. By this point, they might have fixed the bugs, but with the player base that it had, which was probably -3, I would not be surprised if they left it as is. The game was just bad. It didn't play properly. The concept was there. Like, when I first heard about Metal Gear Survive, I was all over that. I was excited, but I decided I'd wait after it came out. I didn't really know what to expect, and I'm glad I did, because honestly, even getting it in PS Plus, if they had put it as the indie game, I probably wouldn't even download it. It just seems that bad. I don't know what you've heard about it, Matt, or what you've seen.
Well, yeah, I'm a fan of the third-person wave-based tower defense action-based games. You place towers there, and then you also do stuff. Yeah, I like it. I mean, obviously, you brought this up before.
I would rather play what was it, Sanctum 2 with you. It's this game. It's just no. I can't even describe it. And if it's been fixed, if things have changed, let me know in the comments. Because I personally, after the initial launch few months, I kept eyeing it to see if anything would change, and nothing did, so I just gave up on it. So if they actually did do a huge overhaul like they once did on Elder Scrolls Online or Final Fantasy, let me know, because maybe it's good now. Maybe you don't need to pay per character slot. There's just so much that was wrong with it when it came out. It left such a sour taste in my mouth, and I'm very disappointed to see that as a AAA title. And I want people to realize that when I say AAA title, I don't mean I want the newest game just released now, but is it too hard for them to give, like, base Witcher, which sells for maybe $30? Witcher 3, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not asking for Game of the Year, full DLC. Like, they haven't given out Fallout 4. They haven't given out, like, a base version of Skyrim.
Or
they
Final
haven't,
Fantasy even.
Yeah, they haven't given out anything. They could make a lot of money by just giving away the base games, and then people would buy the DLC. They would make a lot more money than whatever the hell they've been doing, and they really wouldn't lose anything. But they just don't, because they assume, oh, you're just gonna buy it. You know, we'll give you the shit games, so buy the good ones. And honestly, I'm getting fed up with this. It's for how they've been treating everyone, it's kind of inexcusable. If it were the same, where they kept giving us 6 games a month, or if they didn't increase the price point, I'd be fine with it. But it seems to be just, you know, a lot of scams, empty promises, and nothing going forward. I don't know what your opinion on PS Plus is, Matt. I know you're more about Xbox yourself.
Honestly, I mean, Xbox Gold. Xbox Gold it's bad, but it's better than PS Plus. You get 4 games. You get to keep the gold. You get to keep the 360 games. Maybe Xbox original games, even if you lose gold. So for that, honestly.
Yes, in PS Plus, you do lose your games, and you don't get them back. Like, you do get them back, but you have to pay.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's really dumb. And the worst thing is, I know I had a friend who he dumped a lot of money into one of the free games, and he bought all the DLCs. I think there was even in-game currency he could use because it was an online game. He put so much into it, and when he lost his PS Plus, they would not let him have access to his game, even though he spent more than $400. And their response to him going, well, why can't I have this game? I more or less bought it already, was, well, if you bought it already, you can afford to buy it again.
Unironically, I would have to agree with him.
With PlayStation?
Yeah, it's not that.
It's
I get
the
it.
idea behind it.
I get it. Yeah.
Like, of course he can afford it, and I think that's what he did, because he got games shared from a friend who didn't have the game, so he stopped paying for his PS Plus. So I think he went out to the pawn shop and just bought a copy of the game for $20-$25. But it's still frustrating to hear. Like, you don't own these games, and they can restrict you whenever they want. There was a case earlier this month of someone who got his account banned for a week on account of a DM. He direct messaged a guy. The guy didn't like what he was saying. I don't even think it was anything. It was just a little bit of gamer's rage. He submitted it to Sony support, and Sony support locked him out of his games. He couldn't even play any of the games he paid for. And that's a terrible sign. That if you get banned, like, I'm all for, soft banning. If he's being a complete asshole or racist, whatever it is, if he's making someone else uncomfortable within the limits of reason, not just, hey, I'm Asian, and then that makes someone uncomfortable because they don't like Asians, but if it's actually like, oh, they're being a dickhead, they're making people uncomfortable, then I'm all for banning them from playing online for a little bit, or from playing the specific game in question. They paid for those games. They bought those games. And Sony just proved with that earlier this month that you don't own your games. They own your games and make you feel like you do. But I should stop going off topic. That's a different story.
It's fair enough if any of you guys go digital. Honestly, I mean,
just be prepared to risk losing everything if you have an opinion. It's turning into that type of world.
I'm going to add on to this a little bit. Is more importantly than you losing your games, if you go digital, you're losing version control. So if a game gets censored, if a game runs worse after it's patched, you can't do anything about it. You only get the latest version, or you have to back up the game to a hard drive, and that's going to take up a lot of space because these games reach 50 gigabytes or more.
I mean, that's a fair point. I don't do a lot of the version stuff, but it is true. Like, if I wanted to play version 1.0 of a game, I mean, even for speedrunning reasons, right?
Oh, yeah,
because there are a lot of speedrun categories that you do version 1.0. A really good example of a popular one right now would be Mario Odyssey. 1.0 has a lot of glitches you can do, so a lot of people play 1.0. That's an entire category. You buy Mario Odyssey on the Switch, you're screwed. you have to hack your entire Switch and try to do something around it.
Yeah.
So that is a fair point to make.
Hack your Switch, by the way. You can.
I mean, we're not quite there yet, Matt. So let's leave it as it is.
All right. Okay, fair enough. All right.
All right. And what's next on the list of topics?
Oh, we got a return of our game show feature. That's called Woodland Stakes. So what happens is I choose 5 random objects from a website, and we have to decide. We have to rank them in order of which ones would help us survive the most if we had an infinite supply of them. Remember, we're in a. It's
example,
some sort of,
let's say there was like. Let's just pretend there's two. I never played this. This was probably with your other the guest.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So like, let's say the 2 items you randomly chose were pens and water bottles, and you can get an infinite amount.
Yep.
Then it would be like, oh well, water because water's more important than pens or something, right?
Yeah, it would be like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's hear your list of things.
All right. This week we have milk, a sponge, not a sponge, infinite sponges, greeting cards, model cars. That's going to be a little bit loose of a definition there. How did you say just wooden? Because when I think of model cars, I think of like the Boy Scout cars, like wooden.
When I hear model cars,
hat.
I think about the ones that you build, like the actual model cars. Yeah. They're not always wooden. Some are plastic.
Okay, we're going to have to, I guess we'll take a little bit of liberty with that definition. All right. And the last one is chocolate. Yeah, we got a lot of food in this episode.
Alright, so do you get it all at once, or is it like a flow? Basically, what I'm asking is, if you choose milk, is the milk gonna go rotten? And then you're out of
essentially, yeah, well, we should. It should. It's just you get it, because it shouldn't be on command. It's just you get it all at once.
Alright, so if you choose milk, you gotta prepare for it to curdle.
Yeah, I guess. Actually, now for the purpose of I mean, let's think about it. Because if you have a supply, is that really that much liberty with a reality? Because
in reality, a lifetime supply is the average lifespan for that country, and I believe in the U.S. it's only 36 years.
Well, I more so mean just if you have an infinite amount, like if you could get an infinite amount, and you could say, on command, if you would get it all, is that...
I mean, we can just for the fun of it. We can say, you request it and it gets delivered the next day.
Okay, good. Okay, infinite supply of milk. And chocolate, too. That's a good clarification on chocolate.
I would choose...
So, yeah, which one... Just work from bottom up. So, of the 5, which one is the worst to have?
The worst?
Yeah.
Greeting cards.
Why so?
A lot of greeting cards have a lot of plastic and ink in them, so even keeping them around just to burn... you would get lung cancer fairly fast, or they wouldn't burn at all because of the amount of plastic.
Right.
I don't see. I wouldn't. I was gonna say they could be used as fire starter, but even then, it's too risky. It's just
okay.
Not good.
Then with that, I would think sponges would be in the 4th spot. So
would
disagree. Sponges be better? Oh, okay. So what would be number 4 in your position? I mean,
model cars. For the same reason, a lot of model cars, even if they're wood, they have a coating on them, which prevents them from burning or staining, and if you do manage to get it to burn, once again, it's a lot of lung cancer and crap, whereas sponges have more uses than just burning.
Well, let's assume the model cars come inside the little boxes, right? That means they have, they have a little bit of weight to them, so you could, if you have enough supply, you could make a little, See, this is the problem I have, is you can make walls with them easily, but you can't make roofs with this kind of stuff.
I mean, the model cars do come with their own glue per box.
Oh, yeah.
When we're talking model cars, we're talking like a full box, or are we talking a pre-built car?
Well, yeah. Right now we're assuming it's a box with it not built yet. Yeah,
yes,
it's in the box.
So it would have a little tube of glue. While not extremely strong, it probably would hold up a makeshift roof.
Well, there you go. Okay, then. So that's pretty good, actually. So then what's... So, yeah, if you agree with that... Yeah, what do you think?
Would consider still that model cars would be 4th, whereas sponges are 3rd. And my reason behind this is sponges can be used for 2 things. You can use sponges to, for fires. They're flammable. They burn actually quite well. You can put a sponge on fire on top of water and it will still burn. It's quite interesting. It's really fun to watch. But also for water preservation, if it rains... you can fill a bucket full of sponges, the water will go into the sponges, and then anytime you need a drink, you could literally just suck on a sponge.
That's true, yeah.
And at the same time, it should also more or less filter the water fairly well as it's going in. Let's say there's a puddle. It won't filter it perfectly, obviously, but it will do a lot better job of keeping the big chunks out than, normal.
Well, if it was a model, so it's for storage and for fires. But with a model car, you could, you could put water inside the box and it may not leak. Right?
All right. Just to pretense this, like why I'm gonna say I don't believe that. My stepfather, it's his hobby. Model cars are his hobby. He owns about 130 different models, and I can say those boxes are not really waterproof to begin with. Like, you can get away with a few of them, but most model car boxes are mainly just cardboard.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I can't say because I can't think of anything. I don't know because it could be a container kind of like a toothpaste container where like the flap opens out and then you got the two on the sides. If it's like that, I think it would hold water pretty well.
Corners are opened. A lot of water could fall through easily. How about
for
argument's sake?
Yep.
Why don't we put the two at a tie? Because I really
we got to put them in order.
There's utility to both, and
okay.
I don't know what's more important. I want to say fire and water is more important than model cars. You can't burn them; the plastic would kill you. But model cars offer a form of shelter, a form of protection.
Yeah.
What's more important? Is it a heat source combined with a drinking, a water source?
You got to take the fact that you're inside a forest. So model cars all give you nails, right? They have nails, or just actual things which aren't.
No, it's all glue. You glue the entire car together.
Okay, gotcha. All right. That's pretty tough choice. You may be on the go because you're right. Because eventually the 4 hours going to be run out. Okay, fair enough. Model cars number 4, sponges number 3. All right.
Now it's between chocolate and milk.
Chocolate.
Well, I mean, first of all, for milk, bags of milk are pretty easy to carry.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. I would say chocolate's number 1, which would leave milk at number 2.
Why would chocolate be number 1?
Because chocolate has more health benefits than milk. It is actually quite healthier. We're talking about chocolate, not candy bars, right? Like, you're not getting a bar of, like an Aero bar every month. You're getting a bar of
the thing is,
chocolate.
I am thinking of candy bar chocolates.
That makes no sense. That's not chocolate.
Well, what kind are you thinking of? Yeah.
I was thinking of, actual, like, chocolate. Like, you just get a bar of cooking chocolate.
Okay.
Because a bar of cooking chocolate it's not the healthiest thing. I'm not saying go eat it every day, but it does have its own health benefits, and more so than milk. Calcium, you don't need so much calcium, especially if you're in the wild. Plus, with chocolate, you could eat it with whatever things you find in the forest. If you find a strawberry or a raspberry bush, you've got a really good mix of snacks there. It would taste a lot.
If you have a filter, you need milk for the water, like for moisture.
If it's a forest, there's got to be water. It's not a desert, right?
Well, yeah, but you need a filter for the water because I don't think it's going to be clean enough.
I mean, milk wouldn't filter it either, and you would probably kill yourself on calcium by drinking that much milk.
Is that a thing, really?
Calcium overdose? Yeah, you get people who drink milk like every day in like an abnormal amount. If you were to replace water with milk every single day, you would get sick. Like, the amount of milk that you drink... milk, first off, is scientifically proven. You're not really supposed to drink it. But a lot of people overestimate that factor they overthrow how true it is. They say straight up, milk, you drink it past being a toddler, you're fucking dying. You're dead. You're useless. That's not true. Milk provides its own health benefits to a certain extent. But drinking such an abnormal amount, such as the amount that a toddler would, or the equivalent between toddler and adult, that is bad for you. You don't need that much milk in your body. It's nutrients that you can't do anything with. Your body doesn't know how to filter it. So yes, I would say having that abnormal amount of milk is pretty bad.
Okay then, well put. I'll have to agree with that then. Don't know, with that I guess, I personally I don't even like milk either. I know.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of milk, but I mean, from a health benefit standpoint, let's say you replaced milk with, like, pineapple juice.
Yeah.
I despise pineapples with a living passion. And I would still say, like, in this case, pineapple juice would be higher than milk. Even though I don't like it, it's better for you. But no, milk, no, it's that amount of milk every day. It would keep you alive, but you'd probably be seriously sick by the time you got out of this forest, if you ever did.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. I like it. I like it. It was a good set. I think it was a little bit easy this week actually. I would say, but okay. So then, if we all agree with the positions, you agree with the positions, right?
Yeah.
All right. So then, chocolate at number 2. Oh, sorry. Chocolate number 1, milk at number 2, sponges at number 3, and an infinite supply of model cars at number 4, and greeting cards at number 5 because of plastic. That'll kill you. Get cancer.
Sounds about right.
All right then. That was a good feature, I think. Yeah. I think I like it. Yeah.
We're doing this again next week?
Oh, depends, because I want to. It depends, because I don't know if I should keep features rotating, or because like Carl Pilkington, he had a couple features that he binned eventually, like a movie Rockbusters type things. I don't know what's better. I don't know, because I'm trying to imitate them as much as possible. Shameless.
You're trying
I
to
know.
clone someone. Okay.
Yes, I am. You're trying
I wasn't
to
aware. You didn't even tell me.
Oh man, I just I have to say at least once every other week.
You don't tell me. I don't listen, so it doesn't count.
I see. All right. Well, I think we'll do it every other week.
All right.
It's a or wherever there's a drought of content, just like this week.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So I'll leave you to the outro, I guess.
Good. Yeah. Fucking it. That's actually longer than I thought because we spent a little bit of time with plus. See, the problem is, I think you spent a little bit too much time talking about because I think you were talking too much as if we didn't know what the games were and whatnot. I think that's the problem.
There are gonna be people that don't know, though. I mean,
well,
there's got to be Xbox and Nintendo fans, or maybe just PC players that want to know what the hell's going on, or just have no general idea.
I guess there was no way to go around it. All right. So then, all right, that was episode 6 of That's Kinda Cringe, Bro, with Matthew and Alex. All right. Rockbusters, remember that? You go back to the start of the episode. I'm not going to repeat them. You can email them at that'skindacringebro@gmail.com. You guys are competing for a code for the Amazing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, redeemable through Sony's proprietary video service. It's self-explanatory. All right. All right. So we got a nice tune this week. Let's see what we got. I'll leave you guys with Richard Marx's Satisfied. That is from his album. Let's see what it is.
It's from that album that he did.
I've been picking up some music CDs from thrift stores. Actually, I'm really because the thing is, I went to Bookman's first, right? $6 for this.
What is Bookman's?
Bookman's, it's like a higher end thrift store for music and whatnot. Secondhand higher end thrift store for that. Cost me $6 for a Richard Flatts, something like that. Richard Flatts album wasn't that good. It's pretty run of the mill, something you would find on the radio. But actually, it was a Goodwill actually that I found the Richard Marx thing, and that was actually honestly the best of all. Actually, no, there's actually another album. It was this weird Fair. I don't know if you heard of them. It's like Fair Group. Have you heard of them? This I guess a record label. It's really
Can't
weird.
say I have.
All right, yeah. It's like they put out these really generic music albums. It's called like action songs to sing to. Like those are weird. Like Bible songs.
Oh,
those are weird.
Guys.
Yeah, those are weird. But these ones,
God.
yeah,
we
yeah.
sell, like when I used to work at Walmart.
Yeah.
We stocked those like every week, and there was just random shit.
Oh yeah.
Best way to describe it.
Yeah. But they actually have another kind of album. It's like songs of relaxing and meditation. Like those are good ones actually. I'm really pleased I got those.
I can't say I saw those, but
those are.
We stopped stocking them after a while. They just didn't sell.
Yeah, those are. Well, thing is, those are. I have to say those are at least 10 years old because because
they've been re-releasing a lot of stuff lately though.
Gotcha.
Of course, it could have been just someone cloning the whole idea. Like, as I said, I've never heard of this specific person, but I do know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think there's some compilation record out because I looked at the songs on one album I got, and there was one song that there wasn't even a credited artist. I don't know how they got that. It's a little weird.
All right, well, I guess we should leave these guys to enjoy the song, right?
Fair enough. Yep. All right. Yep. So the we're going to leave you with Richard Marx's Satisfied on his album The Repeat Offender. All right, have a good one.
Peace.